Oh, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons tonight. Right, I'm not going to bother with that intro because I'm getting bored. Right, tonight, if there's anybody out there yet, we're going to be doing a draw stream. We may get joined by somebody later on, we may not. Tonight is the first of my draw streams. It's kind of what I was doing when I started doing this. It was setting up, working on the actual comic that I'm drawing and streaming at the same time to let people see that I'm actually working on it. So that's the plan tonight. So, yeah. Back on the proper water tonight. Fire water. Right. So, first things first. Just while we wait till people show up, I'm going to share my campaigns because I haven't checked on myself for a few days. There we go. Tension. Cut it with a knife, couldn't you? Here we go. Right, so if you're stumbling across this campaign or you're stumbling across this stream for the first time, this is the work. This is what I'm doing. Ailsa Dark, Werewolves and Bampots, the full saga available on the old Indiegogo. Another backer this week when I was on the old CromCon. Good evening, Pete. Hello there. Evening, Adams. Yeah, I pressed all the wrong buttons. If you weren't here at the start, it was a complete disaster. So I'm just filling for time right now. Just saying, we got another backer. I was on CromCon, got a backer when I was on there for half an hour, so that's cool. We got Tales of Mystery. Anybody that's new here, Tales of Mystery, give it a look. My man, Lucifer Storm, he's not here this evening, but he's working on this. That's why. Give Lady Satan a wee look-see. And I keep forgetting to mention, I'm also working on the old Charlie's London's From East Lane to the Limelight. That's Pierre Gilmore's work. That's not mine. Well, that's a nice box. Haven't seen that before. That's new. It's Charlie herself. Oh, that's why, because I'm on the old updates. So I'll quickly zoom down. And there you go. That's a guy called Mickey. I think that's his full name. He's one of these people who just has one name, like Madonna. So it's looking great. I'm working on a one-shot for that. Not working on it on the show because I can't really work on that one when I'm on here. But there's one of my pieces for it. There's another one of my pieces for it. And our old mate, Stato. Oh, I'm giving myself a headache going through this that quickly. Stato's worked on this little backup strip here with Charlie Chaplin and the scamp down here, which is, to be honest, that's worth the money for that alone, I think. So that's it. I'm working on this campaign. Our man Lucifer is working away on this tonight, getting stuff done. He'll be back here with me in a week or two, where we're looking at the New York Ripper for the next of our big video nasty ones. Tales of Mystery and Imagination. If you've thought about signing up but you haven't, and I'm guessing everybody that's here right now has signed up, but anybody watches in the replay, maybe no, sign up. It's cracking, and give this a wee looky. Right, that's that. That's me. Done all that. Stop sharing. What am I going to do? Hi, Kim. Evening, Russ. So what am I going to do? Yeah, I'm going to do a proper wee bit of drawing tonight. Kinda, I suppose. I'll do that. About an hour and a half or so. Yeah, I've tried this before. It did work before, so I can probably do it again. Always helps. You'll like this, Pete. Stato found this on Amazon, and I got myself a copy today. It's an adaptation of Dracula, but they've cast Bela Lugosi in an adaptation of the book. It's Oops. Oh, it's really rather nice. So it is. Yeah. So, share that with you guys. I'm looking forward to reading that at the weekend. Who else is popping in here? Hey, happy Jam. Good to see you. But well, like, yeah, I did 3 sketches in a previous stream, so that's 4 sketches in probably 7 hours. That's not bad at all. And one of them was a stato, so there you go. I think that's for the book. As if my ever forming greying mullet that I've got here. I doubt it very much. Okay, so what am I going to share here? What am I going to do? Congratulations, you're using the latest version of Firefox. No, I'm not. Go away. Close tabs. Right. I've been drawing Stan Laurel all night. Now I'm going to draw a werewolf because, it's a wee Team Dark Rolls, isn't it? Right, share screen. I'm going to share. I'll share that. I won't share the entire screen because it seems to work better this way. Right. I'll turn off my wee camera because, you'll see me chewing my tongue and everything. Evening, peeps. Good to see you, mate. Right, okay. What am I doing here? Okay, I'm working on a panel for. I've turned off. I've isolated this panel. I'm working on a panel for the next issue of Ailsa Dark, and as you can see, it's part of a double-page spread. And I've isolated this one panel because I don't want you all seeing what happens in the double-page spread, because it is a fight between Ailsa, who's currently a wee rough up here, and the kind of werewolf form of Mr. Goodwin, the main bad guy in the story. Anybody who's back the first campaign will know who I was talking about. And what I've got going on here is she's going to be jumping down here at Mr. Goodwin, and she's got some pointy thing in this hand, right? I'm not quite decided what the pointy thing is. I've got everything plotted, but there's certain things I'm leaving open for, violence sakes. If it's going to be far more entertaining to up the violence in some way, I'll add something else up there. But right now, it's whatever pointy thing I can think of. They are going to be in the necropolis, the big graveyard in Glasgow. So it's where the comic starts in the first issue, and that's where it ends in the third issue. In her other hand here, she is, of course, going to have her Glock, her gun. So the plan is she's coming down. She's got the trailing arm of the gun. She's coming down with the pointy thing to come for him in hope that he's going to block with his left arm for the pointy, as it were. And she's going to follow through with the gun to the gut. Now, I'm not going to show you what's happening with the layouts here. They're dead messy, but you might be able to work out what happens when this goes on. But that is the piece of action that I'm working on. And tonight I thought I'd just have a wee go at drawing your man here. To help me out, I brought in a wee image of him because I couldn't quite remember how I had his moustache going, because I've only drawn 2 actual kind of images of him when he's full werewolf. One is in that page there, and the other is where he's killing his old mate, the werewolf hunter, in the first page. It's no real spoiler. It's on the campaign, and yes, you are indeed. And of course, he's killing somebody who looks an awful lot like Pete as well, in that. So yeah, so this is me. I'm going to just kind of dive in here. I've got this. Oh, it's always showing the layer panels. Cool. Doesn't always do that. There you go. So this is how my layers are set up for this here. I've got like my roughs on your man here, and I'm wanting to give him like the old Incredible Hulk, sort of like tattered clothes, pure Bronze Age. Because I mean, it's lots of violence and horror stuff, but still, for the kiddies. Yeah, so his pants aren't going to completely burst, just like the Hulk's. So that's what I'm going to work on just now. So I'm going to stop blathering here. I'm going to take down the opacity on these so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to turn off the Ailsa one. I'm going to create a new layer, and I always make the layers that I'm actually working on that I don't want to delete by accident. I always make them yellow. It's just the way that I work is I always make text layers red and line art yellow, and any kind of reference I bring in, like this one here, I usually make purple. Yeah, it's a habit, and I'm sticking to it. So here we go. What's that the tune to? It's been in my head for about a week, and I can't quite remember what it's a tune to. I'm looking at my wife. She can't. It's Midnight Cowboy, isn't it? Oh, it's Midnight Cowboy. Thanks for that. Yeah. How could I forget that? Right, here we go. Right, what I'm using here is, I love this. This is a Sketchbook Pro, and what I'm using here is just the bog standard brush that you get in Sketchbook Pro, and I use it for everything. Right now it's kind of blown up in size and is a wee bit fuzzy, but that's only because it's at 528%. Its actual size, it'll look great when I actually take it down. Yeah, so cool. I'm just getting. Right, make sure I don't need to restart this. Sometimes I need to start it. Oh, cheers, Rush. Gil Kane, no pressure. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. I do like. I'm going to put some up nose shots. I've got one up nose shot in the first issue, which is a typical Gil Kane. Well, he has the low camera angle, and he shows everybody from the nostrils up. So. So I'm going to turn this wee bit of reference up here because I'm drinking whiskey at the same time. So just to remind myself, I can keep zooming down. Right, there we go. I have a way of working now where I just use the pencils as the inks. So if I was going to do what you've got, I tend to just do layouts and rough pencils, and then I'll go in and I'll use the pencil in the application that I'm using. And the main reason I use this application is because I just love this pencil. It's a kind of quirky one because you've got an app as well for Sketchbook Pro, and the pencils are roughly the same, but the app has HB, 2B, 6B pencil set. This is really, really nice, which doesn't actually correspond to the same one in the desktop version. I guess that's the thing when you're working with an app that the company's giving away for free. So there's no real kind of like link up between them. So just remind myself to make that fully black. Oh, hey Lucy, good to see you, my man. You hope. Yeah, I think I have been known to do that as well. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to turn this off. I don't need it. I'm doing this without the aid of glasses. I should probably put them on. Yeah, a minute. I'll use this one first. That's a good glass. Where are my glasses? Who needs glasses? I'll just zoom in even further. There you go. No bother. Remember to come back to that. Oh, thank you. My glasses have been found. Yay. Oh, God, that's awful. What am I doing? I'll take them off again. I have a tendency with this, because of the way I started working with it, I have a tendency to just overwork it and go in and doodle and noodle and all that kind of stuff. There's a wee thing up here you can select it, and what it'll do is it'll kind of like smooth out your lines like that, and I really don't like using it all that much. I like to have the human jitter in the actual rendering. I don't do the classic kind of like cool kind of inking style that Russ does, which is like terrific. Because the reason I don't do that is because I just my personality. I kind of like I hulk out if I'm inking in traditional style. The idea of doing tight pencils and then inking just makes me go crazy. I wish I could do that, because I look at that style, the kind of like the old school kind of influenced by Joe Sinnott kind of style of inking, and I'm kind of envious. So when I see you kind of Russ's black and white work going out there, it's like, wow, yeah. I get flashbacks to when I was like 12 years old, and comics were great. Okay, yeah. Tell you what, I hulked at least 2 occasions today for different reasons. It's not going to happen now, though. I'm totally chilled. Yeah. Now, often there's a case when I'm doing this that I don't really know where I'm going with it, and I do. It's why I don't do how to draw videos and try to tell people how to do stuff, because that's not the way I do my own stuff. If I was doing a how to kind of like put together a page, or how to put together something for a class I was taking, I would do it in a different way, in a different style. The students know this isn't the way to do it. But yeah, I'm pure hatching mad. Pure hatching mad. That's me. Yeah. I love this control sort of mechanism, just this wee wheel that you have in this program, which again is free. Sketchbook Pro is free, so anybody can kind of download it and have a play with it. But I love it because it's just so intuitive. If you've got like a Wacom sort of like a with the buttons on it or anything like that, you just don't use your keyboard. Your keyboard disappears for all the time you're working on it. Now, a wee trick that I do sometimes, because I'm just kind of like patching these in here like this. In my head, I'm using a wee Sharpie to do this. But I'm not going to use the Sharpie that they have in here, because it's not really, it doesn't give you the same effect that I would get by working the way I am. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll take this into Photoshop once I'm done, and I'll double up my layers and just play around with the opacity to get it that little bit kind of chunkier and sharper. Even that little bit kind of like out of register, I do that sometimes and see what that does. So Lucifer's on an adventure. Hey. I've got the the Argento edit, the director's cut, set for Thursday night. Guys, you need to join us for that. It's already been demonetized and banned in quite a lot of territories. So it seems somewhat apt, that there's certain territories they can't show it in. I know it's for different reasons, copyright, but nevertheless, it seems somewhat apt. I'm still not 100% that it's going to actually show up here when it starts to play, but we'll see what happens. I'll try and keep this page and not work on it again until next week. I'm not promising anything, but I'll try and do that. And so if I get Goodwin pretty much roughed out and done tonight, I'll do Ailsa next week, and you'll see the panel coming together. And by then I probably have worked out what kind of pointy thing I want to give her. Oh, remember guys, save your work as you work. It's not bad. It's not bad. Toughest thing when you're zooming in all the time is getting the balance. So you want to make sure that you've got kind of a balance going, and you don't overwork something so you have like any horrible whoops, any horrible sort of like over-rendered piece. There's a page in How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, and Russ has worked on like a more modern version of How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. So if you're not, I'm guessing everybody here is following him on Twitter or Facebook. If you're not, please do. But in the original book, they took a Kirby panel and they under-inked it and they over-inked it, and the over-inking looked just terrible. But they were being a wee bit kind of like, weren't being entirely honest with you, because you can over-render and make it look amazing. There's a guy called Alfredo Alcala as an inker, and just this is for you peeps. He was, of course, the artist on Beneath the Planet of the Apes adaptation for Marvel, and he inked lots of black and white stuff, and he rendered until there was no rendering left in him. Some people loved the work, others didn't. I loved it. I thought he was an incredible artist. Right. I'm going to fill that in black later. That's okay. Yeah, I couldn't resist it. I had to, you know. I've not been mentioning Planet of the Apes in every stream, but I need to try. Right. I like to use the felt nib on my Wacom pen. You can probably hear why. Yeah, well, rendering is pretty much in comics. You've got the pencils, and so the pencils. Well, now the pencils do reproduce, but back in the day they didn't reproduce well, so you would have to ink them. So essentially, the ink would come in, and they would render it. You would call that rendering, really. But the rendering is very much it's just the inking, and at least as to me, I've always just thought of rendering as been done with the inking. But rendering can really be just any way, with any kind of like medium that you're working with, you know. It's a very flexible word. Not bad. That kind of works. What another thing that's fantastic about working digitally is, I'm not going to do it here, but you might have seen me do it the last time when I was actually drawing something, is you can come in and you can select certain areas and you can reshape them if they're not quite working. So it's called cheating, you know, and half of what you do as an artist, as a commercial artist, is cheating, because you find wee shortcuts and ways to do things. Unfortunately, I haven't found a wee shortcut to how I just randomly come in and start hatching and hope it all comes together. It just seems to be a Zen-like thing that I do. Right. Now, Mr. Goodwin here, when he's first introduced in the comic, for those of you who've backed the U campaign and haven't seen the original ones, he's actually, his human form is based on Mr. Roper, George Roper, from the British sitcom Man About the House and its spin-off, George and Mildred, because I wanted to have a villain that just looked so unassuming that you just to spend their everyday life just kind of like fitting in and not being noticed. And his wife as well is in the comic. She's the other villain, and she's, of course, she's based on Eutha Joyce, who played Mildred in Man About the House and George and Mildred. There's loads of references to 70s and 60s and 50s type stuff in there, but it's done in such a way that it's not, hey, look at this. It's just done in a way that if people notice it, they'll notice it. The apes, yeah. That's no far for the truth these days, peeps. Right. Should be. There we go. I want this to look kind of rougher the way I'm doing it for him here than perhaps he is when he's first introduced, because this isn't the start of the fight. This is like leading up to the conclusion of it, and the way that I'm working it out, it could be right at the conclusion, or it could just be the start of something else. But there's a chance that if it's the start of something else, I need more pages to do that, because it's all worked out. So that's reliant on whether it's, whether I can afford to add more pages to it. We'll just see. This is what I've got, like the iPad Pro, which is great, but see, when you're using the pencil, it doesn't let you use the top end of it like an eraser, like an old school pencil. Whereas I can do that here. It's great. Every time I want to kind of rub something out, I just turn the pen around and go for it, and it becomes like muscle memory when you're doing it. In my head, whenever I do it, I'm picturing I'm kind of like Benny the Jet, and I've got a butterfly knife in my hand. That's how sad I am. Right, okay. Time for some upside down drawing. And I've got the colouring on this. When I start working on the colouring, there's certain things that are going to start pulling it together. If you have the first two issues, you'll see how things get both a little bit more detailed and a little bit chunkier throughout the second issue. And that's on purpose, as I'm reviewing what I'm doing and change my mind about things. Right. I don't know if I'm going to like this, so I'm going to create a new layer, an orange layer, which is Wullie's way of saying it's not quite yellow yet. And I'm just going to kind of like, just to speed things up a bit. There we go. I'm going to get this. You might see what it's like. We're starting blocking it. Some blacks. I don't know if Russ works this way. Some people like to just spot all their blacks and create, and have everywhere where they're going to have blacks, they've got them all filled in before they go in and do the line work. I've tried that, and I can't work that way. But occasionally I like to just do one or two bits just to see if it is actually going to look the way it looks in my head. And that's not bad. I think that's going to work. Yeah. It's worth doing as well, because your drawing looks as if it's coming together a lot quicker when you spot all your blacks and you've got them in there. This is something that I do, and you can notice it. So it's not like I hide it anyway. You can notice it, and it doesn't bother me. I think that in the way that you're drawing traditionally, and you do things that you really can't help, because the medium you're working in demand certain things. So if you're working in pen and ink with a nib pen, it demands it's going to be scratchy, there's going to be splotches, and things are going to happen. It doesn't bother me that people might look and say, "Is he worked on this digitally? How's he doing this?" So I like to occasionally make a layer that goes over a dark area, and then just take like a white brush or a white pencil and kind of like bring in some white lines just to start blending my fully shadowed area in with the area that I've been working on. Now, what's the thing about this is, if you zoom in, you can see it. It's totally noticeable. It's less noticeable. Hang on, to speak English. It's less noticeable when you actually print it. It's in print. But again, I quite like that people maybe do notice things like this and kind of go, "How's that done? Is that an overlay? How is that?" Because it looks kind of messy, and sometimes you need to do that. Add a wee bit of messiness to it. So there you go. Because I was talking about that there, probably overworked that a bit. I'll go and change that. But again, you can do things like play with the opacity then as well. So you can take the opacity down that, I can create another layer, and I can go in and then I can pick out a few, you know, a few kind of highlight lines. There might be too much happening there, there might not. The problem that I have when I'm working is I'll look at something like that and then that'll become the norm, and then wallop, before you know it, it's everywhere. Yeah. Not liking that. Just not liking that, but I'll leave it be. I like to see a figure through on a page, so even if I'm not liking something, I'll end up drawing it that way, and then I'll come back to it in a day or two and I'll just obliterate. Say I don't like the leg or the arm, I'll just obliterate it and put another one there. This is going not too bad, actually. I mean, that might just be the whiskey, but I don't know. Considering how disastrous I was at the start, where I wasn't even pressing any of the right buttons. That's because Lucifer or Stato weren't here. There we go. Oh, got a bit dizzy there when I did that. Right. It's kind of quirky. It says it's a 2B there, and it says it's like an 8B there, but what it really is, it's just making it thicker and fuzzier, so it can be a wee bit quirky. So. Good for it. Right. It'd be good if I could remember what my own character looked like, wouldn't it? But there we go. Actually, I quite like that. So I'll blend that down to that. Blend that down to that. There we go. Start here layer. Cheers, peeps. It's like I was saying there, what's going on with that? Oh, showed the opacity in. I thought that was the effects of the booze. I've been drawing mostly Stan Laurel this evening for a wee bit. So it makes sense to then jump into a werewolf after doing a wee bit of Stan Laurel. And again, none of this will be seen in the printed version when I'm coming in here doing this. But you will be getting a high-res PDF. See a fair bit of it in that, got to say. Yeah, not bad. I was going for the old-fashioned angst, like, and back in the day in the comics, you had this shape, a mouth, which was like your angst, kind of mouth, you know, big nose up of it. So I was going for that here, giving it that kind of bronzy, angsty kind of feel. I need to take my glasses off to see the chat. You know what? I did that just the other day, but that's because I was also doing some traditional stuff as well. So I was jumping, I was doing some stuff for the college, and then next thing you know, when I'm actually working on screen, I blew it. I did. I'll admit to it, I'm that daft. Hey, Pops, thanks for joining us. You should go along and check out Pop's channel as well, and tune in every month for the ChromCon. That's fantastic. Right, I'm going to put my glasses back on and do some drawing. This is not bad. This is that's a bit half an hour of actual drawing, and I've got something going. I don't know, Adams, how this equates in sketch cards, whether this, you know, this is the equivalent of 3 or 4 sketch cards in the time I've done it or not. But I think, yeah, I probably get more drawing done when the Prince of Darkness isn't putting me off as much as I enjoy him putting me off. You're like, well, why don't you just take that wandy thing, that lasso thing, and go around there and fill that? You know, it's because sometimes I just like to fill it old school, as if I've got a Sharpie in my hand. It just feels better, especially when it's a smaller area. It just feels better. Yeah. What am I doing with my light here? Hang on a minute. It's coming from here, and it's coming because I've got 2-point lighting going on here in my head, so I'll just go with it, see if it works. Right. I'm going to create a wee layer, create a wee layer, and I'm going to start doing my incredible Hulk additions already, because I go all over the place with this. Excellent, thank you, my man. That's good to know. I need to get cracking and getting some work done. So this is not a plus, this is actually a negative, but it's kind of a plus. I'm on strike for 2 days starting tomorrow, so I can get a wee bit of work done then. And then next week I've got 2 weeks off the day job, so expect to see some Ailsa getting hammered out. Well, mostly Charlie Chaplin. I'm still finishing that off, to be honest with you, but some Ailsa is going to be coming your way. Keep your eye out on the social media, and we'll start kind of updating the campaign and hopefully get it rolling a wee bit more when I get some more stuff coming out. Now, what am I doing with that? Right, okay. How do I want to do this? Do I just go old school and go click like that? Yeah, why not? Just do that. I can always change it if I don't like it. Pecs are far too big there. I personally, I don't like to make things too smooth. But I'm always happy when I do a curve and it looks quite smooth. It looks like I haven't used anything to help me. It's like fighting with the software to make it as natural as possible. Oh, that's shit. I need to sort that out. What's going on there, man? You know what? That'll do. That'll do. I'm going to get caught up in wee details that I can come in and fix later. The equivalent of coming into your drawing with a bit of white paint, white gouache paint or white acrylic paint, and just taking out some stuff you don't like. I'll sort that out in a wee bit and do what I was going to do. This happens. I get sidetracked by things on a page that should not sidetrack me. Going to have to do this wee bit again, but to hell with it. That's no right. This here is no right, but I'm leaving it. But I want you to know it's no right. Right, those of you that were here the first few weeks of this, when you saw me colouring, I mean, I did the flattening stuff almost at this kind of rate. I can't remember. Did I draw anything other than the sketch cards? I can't remember if I did. I was meaning to, but then Lucifer joined me, and then Stato joined me, and then week by week, next thing you know, we're reviewing video nasties, and the drawing disappeared. What happened? Well, it's back with a vengeance. I'm actually drawing. This will impress you. I drew 3 Tatty Bogleman sketch cards today in my lunch hour. I thought I'm determined to have a lunch hour when I'm at work, and I used it wisely. I closed down Microsoft Teams. And I drew some sketch cards. I need to check with you guys. So nearer the time when we do, in a couple of months, when we do, my God, couple of months, is that soon? When we do fulfill, you're going to let me know what character you'd rather have in a sketch card, because there'll be plenty of them. Okay, and I'll try and make sure you get the character you want, because all the Team Dark get a sketch card. That's a strange bit of anatomy, but I kind of like it. He's a werewolf. That'll work. Save. That's good advice. Good advice. Yeah. Yeah, that's good advice as well. And a bag of mini eggs. I remember having Tales of Mystery 2 open at a convention, and as a kid we started going through the pages, and I was like, some of that is a wee bit scary there. And he was going through it, and his parents were like, "Oh, he's okay. He's watched. He'll love this, peeps. He's watched American Werewolf in London. He loves stuff like that." And I was okay. So they bought it for him. He must have been about 9 or 10 years old. So yeah, it's fun for all the family. Good kid indeed. This feels good, guys. I've not been doing much drawing lately because the day job's been biting into me, and I've had to get loads done. But yeah, getting back in the saddle again, as the song goes. Headguy Demon Hunter should be good for kids over 5 though. Yeah. I can see that. I can already see the CBBS animated version. Exactly, Adams. We are indeed, hold my mouse, we are indeed a normal, well-adjusted bunch. Now I'm on fiber tip mode. I think I've got a fiber tip in my hand. I'm just like scribbling things. Right, that's not bad. As long as I've been doing this, I figure about an hour and a half tonight. We'll get to wherever it is, and then we'll. Oh, hang on a minute. I remember now. I was thinking, yeah, okay. Okay, right, okay. I know. I was trying to work out because I've got 2-point lighting, but I want lighting coming down for the top, so I need to give my rim light. So I need to go around this and give my bit of rim light. Okay, fair enough. Oh, 3-point lighting. Why did I do that? I think in like 3D, and it's crazy because when you start drawing it, you kind of forget it. You get caught up with the drawing. I should probably sort light sources out well in advance, but I think as if I'm still modelling and putting stuff together in 3D. But I do have a motto. If it looks okay, it's okay. My other motto is if it looks fairly passable, it's probably okay as well. That's not true. That's ready for deadlines. Their World Comics Review. Yeah, I went into a VHS store. I say store. It was one of these like what Americans call the mom and pops type places, and we had a street. It was like in Glasgow, so it's in Shettleston, and the bottom of Shettleston is where I would go to get most of my video rentals. And but there were other kind of wee video rental places along, and there was one that was quite far up Shettleston Road, and I couldn't get any kind of like decent, or should I say indecent, horror movies to go away with. So I walked right up to this other one, and I walked in, and the guy that owned it had his kids sitting on the counter, and they must have been about 5, 6 years old. The oldest one, no older than 5 or 6, and they were watching Don't Go Into the Woods on a wee old-fashioned CRT television. Yeah, well, I often wonder, are they as well adjusted as we are? You stuffed up your jumper, Pete. Yeah. Brilliant. Now, what am I doing? My layer management's off here because I usually like to do things a lot in separate layers, and I'll tell you why my layer management is off, because there's a big bloody microphone and I can't see my layers. You guys can see it better than I can. So I usually go in. I don't like having it on the other side. I like my layers over here. Yeah, so what's that? I'll use that. Now, here's another thing you can do in digital, which you have to mask things off if you're doing it in traditional. You don't if you're working digitally. You can just do a bit of hatching on a layer and then come in and take away what you don't need. You can also create a mask using the same wee selection tool that I used earlier when I was drawing. You can create a mask like that, and then when you come in with a pencil, it will work within your mask. It's been a wee bit funky, this is. Oh, save. Right, here's something for you. If you are reading Ailsa Dark and you notice on a page a lone dot like that lone dot is when I've gone like this and not realised that I've actually just put a dot and never actually noticed it. Now, it doesn't happen that often, but it does if you're using an iPad. It's blooming terrible using an iPad for that. But yeah, those little lone dots, that's how they get created. Our teacher used to say, you don't draw with your hand, you draw with your wrist. Right, yeah, no, you guys can take that wherever you want. But he was right. Draw your whole arm, guys, and it'll give you a flavour to your work, and it will give you your own style if you do that. If you draw your whole arm from the shoulder down to the elbow, down to the wrist, you'll start developing your own style, and you'll also keep things loose even when you're doing things in a kind of tighter way. I like doing these wee lines, which don't mean anything at all, but what they do kind of like define in people's minds is that it's slightly untidy or boring when you just do these wee kind of lines. It's a trick that you see a lot of artists use. Funny enough, the one that I noticed doing it the most when I was a kid was Salva Schema. He was doing it when he was working on Spectacular Spider-Man. Yeah. I don't know if this is going to be right, but I'm going to share his wear arse in. can't believe I didn't recognise I was humming the... I don't know. Midnight Cowboy theme. What I like. I turned the grand old age of... you can go guess my age. Something to do while I'm drawing. Right, it was my birthday last week, guys. What age was I? Don't be fooled by my youthful good looks. Yeah, recent issues. Yeah, thanks, peeps. 98. That's just what I feel today. What you sculpting? What you sculpting, Adams? Yeah, the Commando. Yeah, the Commando comics. I've been reading some of the recent ones as well. It's I get them digitally on an app. You're right. They have. They've been going a bit less clean cut with the look of their soldiers, as we used to call them, in human years or ape years. Fall Guy. Ooh, there's nothing stupid about the Fall Guy. Excellent. Cool. Can you share what it's for with us, or is that verboten? Get that, guys. I'm fluent in languages. What can I say? Safe. I'm always tempted to buy the Fall Guy box set when I see it reduced on Amazon, but I tend to find something else to buy instead because I know I'm not going to watch every episode of Fall Guy again. Well, actually, if I bought the box set, I probably would. I like the Fall Guy. Yeah, this will look fine because it'll be a bit smaller. Yeah, it'll look fine. Sharper edges. All right, cool. I started modelling the Taiboga Man, but yeah, I think I need to wait until I can just focus on that again. Used to find modelling was dead easy to jump into, but I spent probably about 6 years when I was in the games industry where I didn't actually draw, and all I did was 3D modelling and textures, and even then not many textures, it was mostly just modelling. And now I find that to get back into modelling again, it's like learning to ride a bike a wee bit. Yeah, you kind of pick it up, but it's a bit slower. So I'm thinking I'm going to teach myself Blender because they seem to have got their act together. I keep saying that, but I just need the time. I was going to do it this year, but then we get hit with something called a pandemic, and that kind of didn't get the time to teach myself Blender. But I will do. That grease pencil thing looks great. So I need to use that. Talking about there. So you are using Blender. Excellent. UK Gold was good, yeah. Well, I'm old enough to remember when it was first run on STV or ITV. It was STV up here. Yeah. Right. Yes, Pete, it would. Now, I think I had plans. Again, they were all derailed by the fact that the day job has like almost doubled in length for me to do, because it's just so much more work to do everything remotely than it would have been if I was in the college. It's the same for everybody that's working in schools and colleges right now. It's just a bit mental. So my plan was, when I launched Tales of Mystery, I would already have like a 3D model on the go, but that's not going to happen. So it's going to be the idea of a 3D model of Isati Bogomar. I'll need to wait a year or so, I think, for me to really get it down. Now that I've got the exact look for the old chap that I want for him. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's why I was thinking of using that new tool in Blender, just to kind of like maybe try some 2D animation. So you know what? If I get myself, once I get myself to the point where I'm just working on Ailsa, I might have a wee look at that. I might kind of like give you a shout, Adams, if if I get stuck. But yeah, I had a probably will get it done, but I had the idea of doing like a Crypt Keeper sort of entrance, sequence in for the trailer. But be honest with you, I don't think people. I mean, the first couple of minutes of the trailer people watch. That's why I try to make my trailers last no more than a minute. So it would just need to be. There wouldn't need to be much, It would just need to be that little intro, sort of like the Crypt Keeper welcoming you into his abode before he sets you off to read the terrifying stories. That's okay. He's still turned up there. I'm not even looking at him. He's turned on up there. I'll look at him now. I'll go back to the face. Yeah, go back to the face. Where's that anyway? I keep making new layers. I think I'll just probably blend them down there, because I'll look at that. That's for sure. Because yeah, that'll do. Yeah, I'm quite liking that. I can kind of, I do this. Right, I do this, guys. Sometimes blend it into my light pencil there, because of that rough that I sometimes can't see them when I take them down. And I nearly did it there. Cheers, Adams. If I'm getting stuck with it, I'll just need to point me to the tutorial, that lets me know everything. I'll give you a shout. Be quite nice to do a wee bit of animation, actually. Although I was looking at Procreate too. I got one of my students is doing a piece for me in Procreate, and she was like showing me her workings yesterday on it, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. I like that. It's just a nice simple way of doing traditional 2D animation. So I could do drawings like this and create a kind of like an animation out of them. So that's another option. I just need the time to jump into the software and play around with it. I've weaned myself off of Illustrator. I don't use that at all now. I'm just 100% Affinity, and I'm nearly weaned off Photoshop. Yep, the revolution starts here, guys. Yeah, I will make sure I follow your advice there, Adams. The one thing about Blender was, I remember I fired it up about 10 years ago or so, and just scared the living daylights out of me. I'd used 3D Max, I'd used Maya, I'd used of course, other Cinema 4D or whatever, loads of ones, I can't remember the names of half of them. But then I opened up Blender and it was like, oh my God, it terrified me. So it did. But it didn't terrify me this time. It looks as if they've actually taken artists into consideration and not just programmers. And so it's not just entirely menu, lots of drop-down menus and stuff like that. It looks quite intuitive. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, it's not bad. I got that nose right. There you go. So just always verbally pat myself in the back. Now, he's got to look a wee bit worried and a wee bit angry at the same time. So I'll do a first pass on his face and we'll see what happens. Right. Now, you'll see this a lot when you're looking at artwork. You'll see people that draw what they think an eye is and they don't quite get it right. Now, I'm using wee shortcuts here because I've got a rough idea of what I want to do. But really, you've got to imagine there is an actual eyeball and this wraps around it. Okay, so that's working out okay for me. That kind of looks as if that would wrap around an eyeball. So what you do see quite a lot is you still see it. You see where they close everything round like that, and they'll give you an eye like that. Which is good if you're going for a stylized look and you know what you're doing, but it can be a wee bit, not quite right. Now. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, that's so good. I've been waiting all day for that. Oh, that's what I'm looking at my own drawing and I'm going, what the hell is that? I see the monocle. That's what it is. Dear me. It's late, guys. It's 5 past midnight here. It's favourite time of the day. You listen carefully, you'll hear the creatures of the night. What beautiful music they make. Oh, I'll tell you what I bought, guys. It's okay, Adams. I know exactly that feeling. Yeah. How many times you're working on something that's like just not coming together. Yeah, I found, I don't know, Pete, you might be interested in this. I found a French Blu-ray of you might even have it, because I might be well behind everybody, of the John Badham Dracula that doesn't have the director's cut colour coding. So it's the original colour coding. And it's winging its way towards me. So I'll be able to report whether it actually does have the original colour coding or not. I'm looking forward to that because I've been wanting to see that in its original form for years because I didn't like the colour coding that they did on the release they put a few years ago, and it was the only one you could get unless you wanted to spend silly money. Yes, the creatures of the night. One of the beauties of digital is you can always layer things on. So it's like if I decided, if I was creating a comic with a character list and I decided that I just wanted to, give him a scar or horns in his head or something, it's so easy to go in and do it. In fact, the Dark Lord in first 2 issues of Ailsa Dark. First drawing I did of him, I went in and I kind of tweaked it quite a lot that way, changed the kind of horns and the hoofs, the feet, all that kind of stuff. There you go, those are eyebrows for you. That's oh, I can never remember his name. Right. Guy that was in the Sword and the Sorcerer. They probably are, Pete. I remember reading that. But this was kind of cheap, so I went for it. And I like the cover. That's you can get me with a cover. I kind of go, oh, nice, I like that cover, so I'm going for it. Yeah, what will happen is if they don't have the extras on this one, then I'll get the Super Duper one. I'll probably get the Super Duper one anyway, to be honest with you, when it comes out. No, not Lee. Is it Lee Holbrook? Oh, what's his name again? The guy with the mullet that plays the main character. I'm 55, guys. Right, I'm just losing brain cells by the day. Is it Lee Holbrook? I think it was Lee Holbrook. He had a mullet anyway. If you got the one of those TV's Matt Houston, that's the man. Lee Horsley, that's it. I always get him mixed up because I have Hal Holbrook in my head. I always remember, it's like you'd hear your parents would be like this when you were a kid, and they'd be like, "What was it? What's his name?" And you'd come up with half the name, and you'd be like, "Oh, goodness sake!" And then fast forward, yep, this happens to all of us. We just can't remember things. Now, do you, World's Comic Review, do you use one of those light boxes that you can get, that you like the Huey ones, where you can just plug them in with a USB onto your computer and use them? Something like that. Because I got one of those and they are fantastic. Yeah, I screen tone, I appreciate good use of screen tone. I used to use it myself, and I can't imagine having to go back and use it though. It's just no. If you were to say to me, you have to use screen tone on something now, I would probably scream. I mean, how do you find using it? Yeah, that's the ones I'm talking about. Those slim LED ones. It's almost like it's just made using light boxes so much easier for everybody. I had one that I made myself. We tended to make our own light boxes because they were so expensive. But those LED ones are great. So yeah, look at that size on the page. That looks fine. You remember to do that. You'll see people on the old interwebs. Oh, that's no good. You do that again. I don't purport to tell people how to draw or how they should be doing it. But sometimes I do like to point out that when people tell you have to do certain things, you don't. So you'll see people saying that you have to draw 100% when you're using like a tablet like this, a screen tablet. And it's good to zoom down to 100% or close to it. You have to make sure that everything's spot on and working okay, like I do there. Yep, it's all looking good. But you don't have to. As long as you're aware of that and you keep zooming out. I think one of the reasons I tell you is because you do get caught up in the detail and you miss the bigger picture. So it's kind of good advice, but you don't have to stick to that face. What did I do his eyes? What's normal, big pearly blue eyes? So, yeah, that'll do. Yep, that'll work. Yeah. It's got this thing going on here. This jowly thing. Some extra cartilage or something going on in his jaw. Oh, I did that one, didn't I? Oh no, yeah, that's okay. Don't like that. Do that way. Am I getting that right? Yeah, I'm getting it right. I'm starting to second guess myself. It's a bad side. It's because I'm tired. Right, I know I'm going to end up reconfiguring this here. So let's just put one in. Probably look totally different next week. But it might not. It might work out okay. How are we doing anyway? Been here just over an hour. Yeah, I think I'll go in and edit out that start. Me hitting all the wrong things and popping up on screen. Gee, I don't know. He's a awfully very British werewolf, is what I like to think of. Why is it doing that? Stop doing that. Oh, we have to. Come on, stop it. The software's acting up. Save. Every time the software acts up, save it. This feels good, I got to say, even if I end up hating it when I do it. It's feeling good. But I won't do. It's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. Now, I need another layer because he has. I'm going to take the ear down a wee bit so I can just see what I'm doing. Because he's got a wee bit of the old. Wee bit of the old Wolverines going on there, isn't he? So I'll make sure he had it. That's why it takes me so long to draw an issue of Ailsa Dark. Putting this much into the one figure. But it just makes it my style. So I like to get everything as close as I can to what it would be if I was doing a life drawing or something else. I'd be like noodling and playing around and trying to get it to work. Yeah, that'll be okay. Just go in with a wee bit of white. What they say about inking, confident strokes. Yeah, exactly. Confident strokes. It's got to. Yeah, I'm reading that on my specs. I thought we were going. I thought that was different strokes for different folks. Yeah, confident strokes. It's kind of like when you look at somebody like Klaus Janson, or that's how you pronounce his name, and the inking he did on The Dark Knight for Frank Miller. He used lots of zipatone or letraset as it was, and very kind of like bold brush strokes and pen lines, and it was a sheer confidence that kind of made half of what he did work, because it was very chunky and clunky and really against what was the norm in kind of like mainstream comics for most people. I think the only other inker that worked that way was Al Milgrom, and I always liked Al Milgrom stuff, and I think it's unfairly ignored by a lot of people. It's not bad. It's getting there. I think I'm going to get much more done tonight, guys. I'm getting tired. Don't know whose idea it was to start streaming at 11 o'clock at night. What was I thinking? I was going to start the stream at 10 because we're probably going to do these streams at 10, you know, for the most part. But opened a bottle of wine with my dinner, you know. So I thought if I'm going to have a bottle of wine with my dinner, I better make the stream at 11. Oops. Classic Bronze Age. Werewolves have mullets, except no substitutes. So I've got another 3 EC collections this week. Can't stop myself. They're all quickly going out of print. I mean, when it goes out of stock at Amazon, they kind of like double and treble in price. So I'm getting them. So as soon as my pay came through, I was like, I'm getting more. And it was my birthday, so I was saying to people, just give me Amazon vouchers. And then I was like, let's buy even more. So yeah, I think I've got them all now. Apart from 2 that are kind of out of print and far too expensive to go for. So I'll just wait for the soft covers on those. But I got a nice Wullie Wood War collection I'm looking forward to dipping into. Right. I'll give them a smooth mullet and then I'll rough it up later on a layer. That's what I'll do. Right. Part of the kind of the joke of this character is that he's kind of balding as well. He's like a unassuming wee balding man. But when he's a werewolf, super hairy. Oops. I always do that. I always got the wrong one. Yeah, exactly, Adams. Being balding is no laughing matter. Yeah. But if you turn into a really hairy werewolf, you got to see the funny side of that. I'll come back to this now. Once I've got the full figure done, I'll come back to it on another day, and it'll be a case of like I'll start pulling things together with just like some wee white lines here and there, and make it work. Not every figure gets as much effort put into it, but this is quite an important double page spread with the battle between Ailsa and Mr. Goodwin. Cool. So we're going to lose this here, but fear not. The wonders of the white ink will eventually bring it back. Unless I make one of my rookie mistakes and blend the layers together. that's I'm terrible for that. Say to my students, layer management. Then I get caught up in the drawing and I forget all about it. Yeah, a big sin of extra hairspray indeed. Used to use hairspray as my fixative when I was a student because it was a lot cheaper than buying the actual real fixative. So I'd have a extra large ladies hairspray in my art bag. I say art bag, it's a fishing, like a fishing tackle box. That's what your art students used to use, and they probably still do, some of them. Right. Do that past it in so I can actually see what I'm doing here. Okay. Let's do that again. Stop doing that. Right. That's me done. That's it. Just a win tonight. It's being really. It's just bear with me, guys. I've just created one of them. There we go. Right. It's my remote control that's in my hand. That's my the actual key on it seems to be sticking. So fascinating. It's going to be 5 minutes of me fighting with the software before I realise I really should just have to restart it again, and then it'll start working and doing what I want to do. Oh, I saved it and I did it. Excellent. Just could not get rid of it. Showing me that blooming zoom. Right. Oh, you are taking the piss, aren't you? You're just taking the piss. Right, I'm going to have to restart the software because it's going a bit mental. Bear with me. Oh man, I should probably just call it a day if it's doing this. Try to tell me something. Yep, we're up and running. There we go. There we go. Night, peeps. I'm going to be heading off in a wee minute as well. Thanks for stopping by, mate. I'll see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah. Hey, Stat. How you doing? Yep. If I'm still here, dive in. But I'm having technical issues with my software. We'll see what happens. Right. Okay. Let's just do this. We're back. Hoping it's going to work. There we go. Good. That'll put you some cracking wee cartoons lately. That's the way it is. I've kind of been avoiding the Twitter because it gets in the way of things at work. You next thing you know, you're on the Twitter. So, as you know, I'm not gone, but I'm just hiding. That's the way I like to think of it. Okay, that's kind of working. Tell you what, my sense of lighting is going out the window now because I just like the shapes I'm making. I'm going to go for it. I'll sort it later. But yeah, if I give me a wee bit of this, a wee bit of the old, a bit of rim light. Okay, here. Too much, but I can take it down. Colours will sort that out. Thing about doing your own colours as well is you kind of know what you're up to. Especially the way that I work. It's good if you know what you're up to. There you go. I use the white sometimes instead of an eraser. It doesn't really matter because when I turn this into a multiply layer and do my colouring, the white just becomes, totally transparent anyway. So, right. I've done enough on that so that I know what I'm doing with it. So when I come back to it, I'll get it done. But yeah, not bad. I'm still hating that arm. I'm not even going to touch it because I'm not liking it. Wait, I don't need to wait. There we go. Oops. Start again. Right, guys, I'm going to have to stop soon. I'm getting too tired. Yeah, I can go like 3.5 hours if we're just talking about video analysis. I need to start doing this too about 8 o'clock at night if you want to see me do all of this all the way through. Where I've got the solid kind of like black on the breasts and the pecs and all that kind of stuff, I'll go in and I'll break up with wee lines like that, when they be a wee bit of white, kind of like I'm doing on the trousers. Sometimes you just put some random strokes in. You don't want them to have perfect fur. And some of the fur will be adding with the colour. That's not bad. So that's now my template for how the kind of weight I'm going to be doing with the kind of what I call my middle hatching. So it's like it's just kind of starts to draw things together. It's like, so I know what I'm doing there. So good stuff. Right, I know. But I'm getting back in the zone again. Nope, no worries, Stato. If I'm done, I'm done. Just don't worry. Right, always in the back of my head. Okay, I've mentioned this before, did it? I mentioned it was doing the colouring. In the back of my head, I've got, when I'm doing this issue, I've got Kirby in the back of my head. Now, Jack Kirby is really just because I want to try and get some dynamic qualities to this and work with lots of double page spreads and just kind of like and go big. So that's in the back of my head whenever I'm doing anything. But I also have to have like the 70s horror artists in the back of my head too. And now that I'm reading a lot of the EC stuff, I'm looking at all that inking and the work that all these great artists were doing in the Vault of Horror and Tales from the Crypt back in the 50s. And it's hard not to be thinking of that while I'm doing it. And the key word is thinking about it and not having it up there in front of you and copying it. So you kind of look over it and you remember certain things and you hope that it influences your work as you're working away. Overdid that there. But sort it with a wee bit of white out later on. At this point in the comic, Ailsa, who's up here, there she is, she's got the three kind of like claw marks on her face that you see on the cover image, and the black blood. He's a werewolf. I can give him as many abs as I want. Who's to know? Jack Kirby never really cared much about anatomy, so that's another reason why I'm kind of channeling him. I'm trying to be less worried about how things look real world and more in tune with how they look in Ailsa's world. Yeah, move you to the sunny. Yes, it was actually dead sunny the last couple of days. Yeah, because I'm in Dundee. That's like the sunniest city in Scotland. We get lots of really bright sunny days. I was talking to somebody today, and it was one of my students. She's I'm sure seen you at a convention. We were talking about how things have changed, and it's like a whole year without going to conventions, which in some ways is like terrible, you know. It's like in other ways it's like, well, you know, other things, we're doing other things. Doing this, for instance, you know, there's different things. I doubt we'd be doing this if I was still going to conventions all the time. That's not bad. It needs a bit of fixing, but I'll sort that out later. This is the trick to getting work done, is when you're doing something you're not quite happy with, Don't sweat over it. You can always sort it out later. And occasionally, when you get the whole thing finished and it doesn't look half bad, you just kind of leave it. Because most people do not dislike what you dislike about your own work. It can take you decades to learn that. He says, from experience. The bird that hates to travel. Tell you what, after this lockdown and everything's kind of back to semi-normality, it will be great to get something like a con on the go again. Now I'm just doing making a gnarly bits. There you go. Just noticed something. I'm going to have to kind of just slightly place him slightly differently, maybe move him over a little bit, because his hand's positioned close to the edge, the gutter, so going to be here. Anyway, within this area is going to get sliced in the printing, so we're going to lose his knuckles. So yeah, don't know what I was thinking about that there. That's very close to the edge. I usually drop in a guide so that I know that I'm not going to lose anything in the actual printed copy. Sometimes the printer, and even Mixam can do this, they can be just a little bit too. I don't know what I was doing, but that's weird and freaky. What's going on down there? But I kind of like it. And he's not human, and I've never drawn him stripped to the waist, so I might just bring that up a wee bit and actually add a wee bit more of that in there. It's almost kind of like a John Tortleben Swamp Thing kind of thing going on there. Yeah, doing a bit here. So yeah, I think I will. Yeah, I think I'll carry that one through. Yeah, happy accidents. Gotta love a happy accident. Right. Okay. But I'll shift them over in Photoshop because it's an easier program to work with doing that kind of stuff. I haven't watched that in years. It's used for a British TV show as well. I'm pretty sure they used that the Money Show or something. Say a big shout out to our viewer on Twitch. Go, guys, that's what I'll turn up. I don't even need that one. So that's just over an hour, about an hour and a half work on that while chattering away. That's not bad. It's not bad at all, I don't think. It's coming together. I'm seeing what the colours are lying on it, and it's looking good to me. I'm kind of fairly happy with it. I need to bring a wee bit of white in to this area here where these spiky hairs at the back. Okay, I'll do a wee bit of this. You know, I might just stick with them and get them done. Okay, no reference. Oh well, no fear. Just go for it. Yeah, cheers, Adams. Oh, this is cool. This is good. I need to go and get myself some ibuprofen or something for my back. So if only I had sort of like a wingman who could jump in and take over for a couple of minutes while I go and get it. Hey, Stato, how you doing?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
So anyway, I've not got my. I need to plug in my headphones as well because. Give me a second. I can hear you, but we'll get the whole double.
Hello, everybody.
I'm going to have to go. I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
you just come in and I drop you in. Hang on, give me a second.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I'll just say hi to the chat, everybody. Hi, Pete. Hi, Adams. Hi. If anyone else is still here, hello. It's great to be here in Dundee, Scotland, once again. I suppose that's the Fox and the Hound. I think he was also in in Robin Hood. He was the guy the sheriff of Nottingham. Why don't you shut up and go and get him there? Yeah. I love that voice. Oh man, is that Patrick is it Buttram? 1 second. I think that's Pat Buttram, which is the Roger Miller's Terry Thomas. Yeah, it's Pat Buttram. That's his voice right there. He's just got to go in and out a little bit, put a little southern on it. You know what I mean? Well, Wullie sound. You know, it's been very relaxing listening to Wullie. It sounds like ASMR, kind of like very quiet. Okay, I'm gonna do a little hatching here, and we're gonna see how that works. Looks wonderful. Okay, just move this around here, and that looks wonderful. He mentioned he was getting tired. He probably putting himself to sleep with that relaxing voice. Talk about hitting him with both barrels. So it looks like we still got 5-6 people watching. That's pretty dang good for hour and 45 minutes. And he looks like he's been drawing some Ailsa Dark stuff.
Hey, Stato, that's me. I'm back. Thanks for filling in. I couldn't find ibuprofen, so I put some cocodamol. You can probably
my trademark ramble. I hit him with some Pat Buttram. That's so common.
Oh man, I'm going to have to watch this back now.
I was talking to him like this, and I was regaling him with stories. No, I wasn't really.
I've just realised something. I could actually just sit back in this chair, recline, and pull my wacom towards me because I'm not actually on camera.
Yeah, relax. Keep going. Let's just put the feet up. Oh, you're working on your wacom right now?
Yep, because I've got the old flexi arm that's on, so I could pretty much move it around anywhere. If I just take my pen away and put it somewhere. Oh man,
I've been there.
What have I done?
It's probably under your chair. That's mine falls under the chair or something like that.
Oh dear.
Slim Pickens from Blazing Saddle sounds a little different. He doesn't quite have that in and out part of his voice, I think.
I don't even know if I dare try and do a Slim Pickens.
It's yet another one of those useless talents I have because I project old, but I'm only in my mid-30s and nobody my age knows even what a Pat Buttram is. So it's useless talent. I do impressions. They're like, wow, that's really good. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's good. The sheriff, I remember him. Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to have to go back to. I'm going to retrace my steps. I'll be back in a second. Seriously, I was like, these things aren't cheap, you know. I can't just lose them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I found a really cheap one that works for my Wacom, but I don't know if it works for other volumes or models. It looks like a number 2 pencil. It's perfect.
Yeah. No, well, I can use the one that I had for like an old Wacom that I've got, so I could use that if worst comes to worst. But no, I need to go. I'm going to just trace my step. It's all falling apart now, guys. I'm blaming Stato. Right? Yeah,
that's me. That's my brand.
Yeah, back in a second.
Chaos. He was being all relaxing, and then I got to come in here, and he loses his pen. I didn't steal it. I'm an ocean away. I promise. He's not looking at him from his bushes outside. No. Mm-mm. Oh. Well, we can talk about something to fill the dead. You know what? I think I'll sketch too. Why not? Why not just sit here and while he's doing his thing, I'll just do mine. Why not? You guys can't see it, but that's okay. That's all right. I can describe it to you. I'm putting a line down and a circle and another line, and I've just drawn Batman. It's that easy, just like those old books, you know, where you'd say a circle and then another circle and then fill in the details and you're done. That's pretty much what art is. Just draw a circle and fill in the details. Have I watched any good film? I just showed my wife The Shining last night. It was a little slow paced for her because we're working up to watching the new one, the Dr. Sleep. See if it's any good. What else did we watch? The Replacements, that football movie with Keanu Reeves. She really liked that one. I've been watching this documentary, rewatching this documentary called Stripped. It's all about old comic strips and like the rise and fall and where they're kind of going. That's been like my viewing. But mostly, no, I've been watching old interviews of comic legends like Jack Kirby and stuff. See what they have to say about stuff.
Found it.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Adam. You got to know how to draw before you can learn how to draw with some of those instruction books.
Yep.
They're just like, they give you ideas to get better, not so much teach you the basics. But they're not too bad. You just got to keep on drawing over and over again. You'll get it eventually. What are we drawing?
I'm just reading the chat. Oh, Mike, you're not going to believe this.
I might.
Yeah, my microphone arm is just falling off the table. I just caught it in time before it.
Oh.
Right, hang on a second.
I was thinking the arm you hold your microphone with fell off. I was like, good Lord, see a doctor.
This is what I get for buying an expensive blooming piece of kit, eh? I say expensive. It's 40 quid.
Oh, Adam, I just do cartooning. That's my thing. I like the more animated stuff. Not anime, just more animated stuff. So you look at guys like Darwin Cook, or even I suppose Joe Kubert could at times be a bit cartoonier. Those Will Eisner, he's a good one. I love looking at stuff like John Buscema and Adam Hughes and those guys, but they're not guys that I try to emulate. Even like guys like what's his face? He did that Frankenstein book.
Bernie Wrightson.
I love looking at his stuff. He's just not, I'm not pushing my art in that way. It's got to take a long time to render all that stuff.
Oh God,
My style's built for speed. That's at the end of the day. That's what's most important for me. Getting it done quickly, and making it look good in the process, as good as I possibly can. That's.
I'm going to try and channel Wrightson for one of the strips that I'm working on for Tales of Mystery.
Interesting. So lots and lots of lines and rendering.
Yep.
Okay.
Because it's kind of what I do anyway. But
Pack a lunch.
I do it in more nervous Wullie up to, I know.
How in the world are you doing that?
Magic.
I just do it all like straight up. I never rotated it or anything like that.
Do you not? Okay,
No,
it's
no idea.
if you hit, what key is it? I think it's Z. Is it Z?
Z?
Hang on. I need to use my
No, that doesn't do a thing.
spacebar.
Spacebar. No, that doesn't do a thing either.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
Look, because you do that and you get this, and it's amazing because you zoom.
Oh, maybe if I go to, is there a
And you
zoom
rotate and you move.
Nope. I don't know what's going on with my life. I just realized.
Right. No, because I was just saying that
can't even properly rotate things.
yeah, because this is the reason I love using this, because it's like you don't need to use the keyboard. You know, I've got my wee zapper here. Just hit a couple of keys. So yeah, what am I doing? I'm drawing Mr. Goodwin.
Nice.
There he is there. It's like there's his rough. I've got the rest of the stuff heading off. It's all isolated because it's no spoilers because it's a double page spread.
Rough. I like
Cheers.
that.
It's two roughs. It's I've combined them.
Don't make a right.
I've combined them. It was two roughs. I've combined them.
Wow.
Okay, it's now 3 roughs because that's
my rough is just a circle, and then I get go from that.
Yeah, sometimes I do that as well. It doesn't work out. Oh, that's dangerous. Yeah, this is Mr. Goodwin. Who's going to be? He's got, where is she? Ailsa is diving at him. She's got a pointy thing in one hand, and her trailing arm's got a gun. So is he going to block with his left arm for the pointy thing, or is he going to notice the gun coming in? What's he going to go for and block for? If he blocks for the left arm, and what's happening over here that you can't actually see because I've hidden it.
I'm predicting he's going to get stabbed and take it in the face with the gun.
Right. Okay. Cool. That's one
prediction. Off.
Right. I'm not going to tell. That's why I've not got my roughs for anything other than this one panel that I'm working on.
Sure.
Because it's a key moment.
I like it
in the fight. So when I get around to actually, I'm planning on doing Ailsa next week. If I can get him drawn tonight, I can do. I'll leave this page aside and do Ailsa next week.
Very nice.
And she's going to have she's already got the 3 blood scars on her face at this point in the comic. And they're,
God bless you. That's like one of those continuity things. You got to keep it every time after you put it in.
Tell me about it. So it's like, what do you want to do to yourself? Oh, I want to make sure my werewolf has got a monocle, and I'm going to have 3 scratches on her face.
So he keeps that thing in during the fight, huh?
Oh, totally. Yeah,
he doesn't Christopher Walken it, like in Pulp Fiction.
He's going to keep it in, and then I'm going to crack it. I'm going to have it cracked.
Yeah.
I've got. I don't know.
Cracking, huh?
Yeah, I might do it. Yeah, I might have some kind of like humorous little piece to do with the monocle. Depends. I'm not quite sure where I'm going with the monocle. The monocle could have its own spin-off comic. I might hire you to do the adventures of the monocle.
It's going to be like that movie Rubber.
I've never seen that.
You'd love it. You'd love it. It's perfectly silly.
I remember when it came out, thinking that I totally love the idea of this. I don't know why I've never seen it, but yeah, now that you've put it back in my radar, I need to watch it.
Perfectly stupid. It's about a living tire with psychic powers. It's perfectly stupid. It's a good time, though. It's one of those movies that doesn't care if you take it seriously or not, because there's no way to take it seriously.
Yeah. Adam's just saying press Alt and then press F4 to enable rotation.
Yeah, but see, that doesn't concern me so much as the winky face behind it.
Yeah. Is that your keyboard going to explode if you do that?
Yeah, I feel like that's the Mission Impossible thing. Like,
yeah.
Self-destruct in 5. What? No.
Oh. Why am I drawing hands without reference?
I'm trying to channel into movies, and everybody's now got to watch Rubber.
Yeah. I can see the scenes. I've never seen it. Thinking, God, that's it.
That's bold.
I completely forgot to watch Rubber. Yeah, made it down.
Or did you forget intentionally?
No,
it's on Tubi.
Oh, you are kidding. Is it? Oh, fantastic.
It is.
Well, okay. Just to remind me. That's
Don't forget to get that out of the comic. That's free advertisement. That'll be in the artist edition.
That'll be the thing that comes up when you scroll over the YouTube thumb, and it shows you what's happening in the video. It'll be a close up of remember to watch Rubber.
Oh, for sure.
So
yeah, they haven't had much in the way of updates lately. The Doctor Who with Peter Cushing. 2150 AD. Southpaw. Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh,
Underworld. Big Eyes. Big Eyes wasn't bad. Tim Burton went a whole different kind of weird, and he made a normal movie.
yeah.
That threw me off a little bit, but that's okay.
Yep, you can do that.
Yeah, you
Something
can.
like that used to be
Probably.
called making a studio movie, but in his case, that's not really apt because his weird movies were studio movies.
Right. That's the right kind of subverting expectations.
Right, totally.
It's like, you think I'm going to put dead trees in here? Nope, everything looks nice. Well, he's got two modes. He either does like lots of snow and dead trees, or like super, super vibrant colored.
Yeah.
Like you look at like right, well, there's Big Fish that had all of it in there. I like that movie.
Yep, it's a good one. That you watch that again. I
Oh yeah, me too. I can watch it all. We should have a watch along. Yeah, on mute.
Yep, good idea.
I kind of wonder if it'd still get struck.
Well, that one that's premiering on Thursday night with the Tenebrae that we watched, I had to go back to the original stream and cut that out of it.
Really?
And I think I cut out other stuff as well by mistake because it's dead hard to edit on YouTube because it just freezes up whenever you try doing anything. So everybody watches that stream will just wonder what this is very choppy. What's happening here?
Yeah.
But I kept it in the edit for Thursday night. I thought, yeah, I'm just going with it. But there's like,
Oh, you're
so
working on a
many
Mac,
territories.
aren't you?
Yeah.
That's why we're gonna have two different programs. Because I was looking at yours, like none of my stuff looks like that.
All right. So
you get some extra features. I see.
yeah,
how
I mean, but this has always been the feature on the Mac for this. Even when I bought it back in the day, when you had to pay for it.
No, I know. For me, like when I had it on a tablet, I could pinch it and mess it, and move it around and stuff. But on my Wacom, I can't do that because it's not. My fingers don't work, so it's just up to the pen. But that's okay. I'll just draw everything right side up. No problem.
Yeah, that's a shame. I feel for you because this is so nice when you're using this.
Oh well, I got Clip Art Studio, so I've been playing around with that.
Yeah,
there's a lot more features, a big learning curve.
Yeah, there was too much there for me, and also the fact that the Wacom screen in my Mac, it would just want to have the menus on my Mac, and so I would have to slightly minimize everything to drag them onto the Wacom.
Oh, that's weird because this is all one thing. But I mean, like, I love the automatic balloon placement and stuff like that, where you just drag it over and it drops right in there. That's nice.
Yeah.
So a few things. Turning off anti-aliasing for coloring makes it a lot easier because it all locks together.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I never went that deep because I just it was just too much of a nuisance to use on the setup. So I just
customizing. When was the last time you tried it? Because I had Manga Studio EX4, and that was more complicated. This one, the new one, pretty simple. Reminds me a bit of this program.
Yeah, it's not. Well, it was a few months ago, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably the one I'm using.
Yeah, I think it was a few months ago. But actually, it might be longer than that because with this lockdown, it's like time seems to just move differently, doesn't it?
Well, Adams, this isn't Photoshop. This is this is a Sketch Pro. Sketchbook
Pro. Autodesk Sketchbook. It's free, so whatever you use, whether you're on a Windows or on even an Android device or on a Mac, you'll be able to get a free copy of this.
It's a really nice, no bells and whistles, like just the essentials program. You can do a lot with just this program. I mean, there are some things that I really miss from Photoshop in here. The lettering is a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah.
Because you have to sit and squish it, and it's nice. It makes it a vector kind of thing, but yeah, lettering is probably the biggest problem I have with this thing. Love the pencil, the design pencil specifically. Love some of the brushes and I love the Copic colors.
Yeah,
or whatever that selection of colors is awesome.
Oops, wrong one. There we go. You bring us up and you've got all these
Yeah,
colours and
love
stuff
that.
to work with here.
And it'll tell you like complementary colors and stuff like that in there. That's a wonderful feature. But there are certain things that are like bare bones. And
when they first brought it
out,
I'm pretty sure it was Sid Mead that was doing work on it and stuff when it was promoting it when they first brought it out. But it was that kind of stuff. It was like drones or like car vehicles and vehicles and things like that. Because it's really good for doing like slick kind of like presentation drawings. They look as if they've been done on a layout pad with like proper Copic markers and stuff like that. It's really good for that.
Oh yeah, yep. It's slightly different on Windows. Not too much different, but a little bit. There's a few slightly different things here.
Yeah, it's different even because I was saying to them earlier, it's different when you jump to the iPad even from the Mac, from the iMac. It's like things work slightly differently. The different kind of
icons. Yeah, I don't have a zoom. I don't have a zoom thing in mine. It's just I use the mouse scroll. So I can't really rotate, but I mean I can. So
well, you can see why I do all my drawing with this now because it's just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's so much quicker than use. I can do all this in Photoshop too, but you don't. The pencils in here are just so nice.
They are really nice.
I mean, this is just a box standard pencil, and I'm inking with it. You know.
Yeah, I like a little. What do you call it? Like a little texture to my pencil, which the design pencil has that, but there's nothing really like it in. The one thing I'll say in using Clip Studio Paint is I understand 100% why there's so dang much like wannabe manga out there. This thing automates so much in terms of it's even got 3D models where you can pose them any way you want, put a layer on top of it and trace over it.
Right.
Like it's got like things like you can just highlight an area and then hit and click and it'll put in the speed lines.
Yep.
Automatically, all that stuff. So I mean, it's very easy to make a manga book with this because there's a lot of automated stuff.
Totally. But the only problem with that is there's a lot of bad manga out there because of it.
Very probably, yeah.
You know, that's I think. But yeah, I remember the model's been really, really laggy when I first used it back in the day with just to play around with, just the basic version of it. And I remember bringing in the 3D models would kill it dead. My
problem is with these 3D models, they move very realistically. So in a comic book, I mean, when you're going dynamic, nobody punches like that. Nobody throws people like, with those, like, where they're practically touching their toes after they're throwing, because it's just like the most extreme movement you can have. These dolls don't actually do that. They move realistically like a person would. So it seems a little stiff. You can't really get Spider-Man position, like poses, like when he's swinging and doing his contorting and stuff, because people don't move like that. If you were to,
like if I was to do this pose with them with the legs here and that, because that's probably not right, but it kind of works.
It might, but then, I mean, it would be a straight kind of like leg. It's not a very muscular leg that they got. So, I mean, you'd have to sit and interpret that stuff all yourself anyways.
Yeah, and there could be so much work in doing stuff like that. It's like, just draw it.
It can help with like foreshadowing or foreshortening.
Foreshortening,
yeah, stuff like that. It can really help. If you just sit and play with it and sketch with it and like learn from it, that's one thing. But I mean, actually trying to use it to trace and make panels, it's going to be very apparent that you're using a model of some sort.
You can see that in a lot of the last 10 years in Marvel. You can see that in a lot of them.
Oh yeah, they use 3D backgrounds with it was mock or SketchUp, I think it's called, made 3D backgrounds and things like that, like cities and stuff. And yeah, I think that's a lot of stuff today where it's like, and part of it I don't think is the artist's fault because the demand is so hard.
Oh yeah, I don't blame the artist for doing that.
You need to get it done quickly, and we thought computers are going to make our life easier. It just made the work cheaper and worth less. You know what I mean? Like, look at some 16-year-old kid could get on Photoshop and paint almost as well as Rembrandt now. And that means, if anybody with half a understanding of it, it's kind of worthless.
Yep.
You got to be extra exceptional to get eyes on something nowadays, which is great, and it's not so great.
Yeah. Well, I showed everybody my Dracula book. I got my Dracula book today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
That's really
Beautiful.
nice.
Beautiful.
That's lovely. Yeah.
I wonder if they went in and this guy took like screen grabs and stuff of Bela Lugosi in movies, or if he just got really good at drawing them. That'd be interesting. Where his reference came from.
I know where one bit of reference came from because I've used it for a page.
Oh, okay. I was going to say one looked like it came from like some of his later Ed Wood type stuff.
Yeah.
He looked older in one of them.
Yeah. But it's
regardless, this is the movie that Lugosi
really
probably
good.
should have been able to make.
Yeah.
But couldn't. So.
No, it's really it's an odd thing to have. It's like a hybrid of the old House of Hammer comic,
Oh yeah.
But done kind of Universal stuff. So it was really
it's
interesting.
like that Gary Oldman version, except they took out the unnecessary love story stuff and
Gary Oldman.
And Gary Oldman, yeah, did it right. He did it right. I didn't mind Gary Oldman in that movie. Most of it,
yeah.
Most of it. The crying over the letter. Not for me. But the beginning part, the part when he's talking to Keanu Reeves in the castle, I really like that.
I'll need to watch it again. It's like didn't have enough shovel action for me. But...
No. I liked that, and I liked there were some scenes that he did kind of in the middle of the movie that were really good. But the beginning part, I think he did a great job. I mean, you got to ignore the hair, the double bun kind of thing, but it's not his fault.
It's kind of hard to ignore.
Well, yeah, it's not his fault.
It's not his fault.
But the scenes that he did a really good job.
Thing is, that looks kind of cool in Mike Mignola's adaptation. He makes it look pretty good.
Oh yeah,
it works. It does. You can see what they were going for. It's just when it's in a scene next to somebody like Keanu Reeves, it doesn't gel together. It just doesn't really work.
I gotta wonder if there's something more to that. If it's a situation where he was just rushed in so fast he didn't have any time to study, or if he's just learned so much now that he was just a newer, less experienced guy, or what the problem was. Because
I don't know, or maybe just Francis Ford Coppola just didn't bother directing him.
Oh, it's possible, but I mean, we know from he's a really smart guy, very well read.
Yeah.
And he could have done it, I think. But I gotta wonder if it was like a fast job, like get in here, go, sort of thing. But
I know what you mean.
Or hey, maybe he just couldn't get the accent. Sometimes that happens. I know where the bastard sleeps. Whoa.
Yeah. Wow. Uncanny.
Yeah.
It's like accents don't bother me. I know people get really hung up on them. And sometimes they'll go on about how bad an accent is, and I'll be like, I didn't really notice how bad it was because the performance was good.
Well, 2/3 of them are stereotypes, anyways. And I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you're no stranger to hearing either Billy Connolly or Scotty. Those are the only two accents that exist.
Captain, kind of do it. I can't do the accent he does, but I love it.
Oh man, I gotta wonder how many tourists ask or wonder how many times you say laddie in a day.
Laddie, I know.
Laddie.
As I get older, I tend to say lass more often.
Lass.
Lassie, but that's kind of normal. But nobody says laddie.
There was this line he gave. I think it was in The Trouble with Tribbles, where he was sitting there telling everybody like, "Calm down, don't say anything," and then they insulted the ship. And he goes, "Do you think you want to be rephrasing that, laddie?" That makes me laugh every time I hear it.
It's so good, though. But he's got just perfect comic timing with it as well, isn't he?
Oh yeah, it's so a fun character. But
I always liked it when he was in charge. He had to take the captain's chair.
I can imagine him like compulsively looking at stuff to make sure it's working right, like
Yeah.
clicking the buttons, making sure those are good. And type of character that can't leave well enough alone.
I got I heard I got more EC collections today.
Goodness, man.
I know.
That's okay. I've ordered. What have I got? I got that Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein coming.
Oh, okay.
The one that what's his face had to complete.
Jones.
The guy that did the Batman covers. Kelly Jones.
Kelly Jones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really good stand-in for him.
Yep.
I like Kelly Jones because every time someone says his art sucks, he'll pop in and say, "You're absolutely right."
Does it?
That dude is humble. He's really humble. I love it.
I can't imagine why anybody would say his art sucks.
Well, I think what they're looking at is like when he doesn't do realistic anatomy, he does exaggerated anatomy. So like when you look at his like torsos, they're like a foot longer than they should be, and he's got like what would look like 15 ribs in there. 20 ribs.
And he does what suits a page and what suits a panel as well.
Right, and like Batman's cape is like 20 feet long, and his ears are like a good 16 inches, and like he's a very exaggerated dude. Which if you like old EC, if you like, you get it.
Yep.
I didn't get it when I was younger. I kind of thought like compare. Like you look at Graham Nolan or you look at Jim Aparo. And then you look at Kelly Jones, and he's just so far off the wall. You're going, what the heck is this? But then you get older, and you start to understand style. You start to understand horror art, which that's what he does. Then you're going to go, oh, he fits in great. When he does like Swamp Thing or something, ooh,
amazing.
Yeah.
I never had. I mean, I always kind of loved his stuff. But I think in the UK. With 2000 AD, we every week we had so many different styles of artwork in the one weekly comic. Mm-hmm. So you're getting somebody like Kevin O'Neill, in the comic, and Mike McMahon one week, and then Brian Boland the next week.
Sure.
So I think when somebody like Kelly Jones comes along in Batman, it's almost like, oh, cool, a different take on Batman. Much the same way as it's like a different take on Dredd. So. Whereas American comics tended to be on model, didn't they? So it was very much, especially DC, you're very much on model with what the on model character at the time is.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then I also got the He-Man Masters of the Universe newspaper comic strips. One volume.
Is that Alfredo Alcala doing the inks on that?
Let me see here. It's done by let's see here.
Was it George Tuska or Herb Trimpe? It was George Tuska, wasn't it?
No, it's let's see here.
Because he did I'm thinking of the comic, the DC comic.
No, it was Gerald Fortin.
Right, don't know that. So
Gerald Fortin. I think he's a European guy.
Right, cool.
Did a lot of that stuff. Yeah, I mean it's not great. I mean, we're talking like, like I'm going to get into Castle Grayskull. No, you won't, you fiend! I'll stop you. Kind of thing like that. And written for kids. I mean, for goodness sake, it put in newspapers. I got Superman for All Seasons.
Nice.
Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Never read this one. I know Smallville's based on it, but I heard it's good, so I'm excited to read about that.
Yeah, I've dug it out to read again. So it's on my to read list because I'm going to be off for 2 weeks. I've got things I'm going to kind of like read other than just my odd EC story every now and then.
They got the New Gods and Mr. Miracle. Haven't read those.
Can you be a bit of that?
Like some of that. But the one I'm most interested in, most excited for, comes out April 27th. That's called Monsters by Barry Windsor Smith. He spent 35 years making this book.
Yeah, you shared that with me because I knew he was working on it. I had no idea it was coming out. I thought it was going to be one of these mythical books that never actually appears.
380 pages. For 35 years. My goodness. And Smith is amazing. I love his work.
Yep.
I think the first thing I saw of his was he did some Predator versus Magnus Robot Fighter covers, and then I think he did some work for Valiant back in the day. He was
because they had like the kind of like the Bob Layton kind of house style, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. Well, Layton went over there, so did because Jim Shooter was running the joint.
Yeah,
for,
so
the first couple of
he
years.
was the house style there, but then you had Barry Windsor Smith giving free rein to kind of come in and do his thing.
They just had some weird coloring. That was the only.
Yeah, the colouring was
It's like kind of washed out, little watercolory almost. Or...
Yeah, it was like they were using markers and brush markers to colour it or something.
And then it put it through a scanner and it washed it out a little bit almost. Yeah, I was just thinking about all those guys. I was looking over these Deathmate issues when Image and Valiant did a big crossover, and it blew up in their faces because most of the Image guys came in late or finished their stuff late. I mean, the Deathmate Red, the one Rob Liefeld had, that shipped over a year late because he didn't get it done.
Yep. Just say, I don't think you need to worry. It's like most of them are up there being unread. I'm reading.
Wullie, we love you and we're here for you, but we have something to talk about.
A couple of stories.
Okay, we've locked the door. There's no getting out. Sit on the couch.
Yeah, no, I'm doing well. I'm kind of like, hey, I'm impressed. I've done this in this time.
What? Gotten that many books?
No, I've done this, John.
Oh,
because the truth of the matter is, I just haven't been able to kind of sit down and consistently get Ed and John. So tonight, I did a wee bit of drawing. Stan
you didn't have me on here distracting you.
No, I'm not talking about on the stream. I'm talking about just in general. Just
okay, good.
With work and life. Well, no, look at me drawing away here with you on the stream. No problem.
Yeah. You sounded like you were gonna drop dead. The first part is like, okay, got this done. No, I'm tired. I'm so tired.
Yeah, no, I was kind of beginning to wane, but I was also. That was before I took that Cocodamol.
Oh yeah, is that what it was?
Yeah. No, you'll know. There'll be a point there where you'll note it. There'll be a point there where I do a wee bit on the drawing, and I like it. Mm-hmm. And you ever get that feel where you do a wee bit and you go, oh no, I could probably do this. I could do more of this.
And it just energizes you.
It does. It kind of energizes you.
It's excited.
Yeah, it must be the way sports people feel when they're doing something sporty.
And they score some sort of a touchdown. Yeah, when they're doing something with their balls.
Doing something sporty. I used to do things sporty. That was a long time ago. But yeah, I'm guessing. Oh man, no reference. But hey, it's a werewolf. You can have any kind of toes I want.
I was gonna say, where would you find reference for one? They don't exactly exist.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of when John Landis was teaching his son how to write. He says, hey, how do you kill a vampire? And the son's like, I think it's Max is like, well, it's steak, it's garlic, or something. He's like, wrong. You kill him however you want because it's a fake story. You figure it out and you set the rules for your story and then you kill him that way.
Exactly. Well, that's it, because you got that in the Hammer movies were great for that. They had a different way to kill Dracula in every movie, practically.
Oh, yeah.
And that was what was quite cool. But even if it was the conclusion was a wee bit crap the way they did it, the idea, the concept was always quite good. You know, they're thinking of a new way to dispatch Dracula. That's cool.
I always loved Peter Cushing's his Van Helsing because that dude was smart. He did the most commonsensical things. I know, no disrespect to Edward Van Sloan, but like the little touches, like when he's chasing Dracula and he turns around and tosses a crucifix back in the coffin so that he can't get back in there.
Yep.
Brilliant. Or like when he'd like pull the for the Ponzi one in the Brides of Dracula, he just kind of puts it on the table and slides it over.
Yep.
Scares the crap out of him. I love that. Cushing was my favorite.
Yeah, but he's my favorite. Anything really, pretty much.
Better than crazy Anthony Hopkins. Better than, Hugh Jackman.
I don't consider him.
No, he's different. He's Gabriel. He's an angel.
Yeah. I don't consider him like that kind of film, and That could have been an amazing film. That could have
I
been
don't know how I feel about it. I will say because of that movie, they fast tracked the Legacy collection, onto DVD.
Yeah.
So that I got to see some of those movies for the first time because of Van Helsing. So I gotta like it for that.
Yeah. But they've all got a trailer for Van Helsing at the start of them, haven't they?
Oh yeah. They'd have a little special feature in the thing, like here's a preview. It's like
I'm glad they didn't put that in the Blu-rays.
Yeah, but the Blu-rays, I was so disappointed with how lazy that set was.
I know.
When I got like 4 or 5 copies of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
That's what I was just going to say. How many? It's like so. I was just thinking that the other day. I was like, how many copies of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein?
I got like 4 of them in there.
Yeah, and also House of Dracula and House of Frankenstein.
Yeah, that set, the Dracula, Frankenstein, and I think Abbott and Costello is also in maybe. Oh no, that's the Invisible Man. So yeah, you get 3 or 4 of those, but I mean most of the
you're the same as me because I was actually thinking about this the other night, and then I realised there's not that many Abbott and Costellos because you've got Meet the Mummy in the Mummy set, and you've got Meet the Invisible Man in the Invisible Man set.
Yep, they just keep on crossing over in that first half, the Dracula, Wolfman, and because Wolfman, in the Legacy collection, it made sense. I mean, they had all of those, or no, they just had the Wolfman, Wolfman and Frankenstein, which is going to be in both Frankenstein and Wolfman, thanks to this, and then they had the She-Wolf, which wasn't actually even a werewolf, and then
that's one of these ones. Spoiler:
the Henry Hall one.
Nothing supernatural was actually supernatural.
Mm-hmm. The Henry Hall one too. Werewolf of London.
Well, I just got the Wolfman set this week. Somebody got it for me for my birthday.
Oh, you didn't buy the big whole set?
No, because I was buying the separate sets because we didn't have the big whole set here the way you had it.
Well, that's okay because I mean the whole set is just those sets with it. They make a slipcase and they just shove them all in. I think there's
that's so lazy.
And then they added the Claude Rains Phantom of the Opera for good measure.
Right. Well, see, I've got that because I bought the first set that oh God, what are we like, man? I bought the first set that came out that was it was essentially all the classic ones, like the Mummy, Dracula, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Wolfman, and Creature, and
the best
Phantom.
Ones.
Yeah, so all in the one set, and the Invisible Man. So if you ever really needed just the one set to get a whole flavour of the Universal horror movies, that's the one to have. But you want the Mummy movies as well. You want the kind of like the lesser ones too because they're fun.
The Invisible Man set's honestly just overall my favorite set because it's got a little bit of it's surprising how much they can do with that just simple because I mean like the rest of them like Frankenstein more often than not is kind of a retread. He wakes up, he's angry, he escapes, and he causes problems. Every single one. Dracula, it's just like, well, it's a different vampire because we stake them all at the end. At the end. Yeah. Or no, Dracula comes back as Lon Chaney Jr.
Yep.
But the Invisible Man, you had like a comedy, like a romantic comedy. You had or a screwball comedy. You had Invisible Agent. That's probably my favorite of the set.
Parachuting into enemy.
Oh, what a great idea! Like he's invisible, he's a soldier, and he's got to like spy, like take down Hitler. That's a great idea. And then there's the revenge one with Vincent Price. That was a good one.
Yep.
Great set. It's my favorite because of the variety.
They should have had Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein in that set though.
Oh, they probably should. Oh, because of the tiny cameo at the end.
Yeah, that's Vincent Price appears at the end as Invisible Man.
Right. But they did give him his own movie. I mean, he's not in there, but I mean, they did give him.
But that would have been enough for me to put it in that set as well.
Chick. I love that stuff.
So Adams, I've never seen that show. Have you seen the show?
No, She-Wolf of London. That sounds familiar.
Oh, yeah, that's... Is it worth watching?
It looks kind of like it reminds me of it looks like a lower rent version of the Friday the 13th series.
Oh, right.
But it's got some werewolf action in it though.
Right.
So she does become a wolf. So it's like maybe like the Hulk.
Right. Whoa. Whoa.
Do, 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 do.
Kind of sold me on it with that. I quite like the Friday the 13th show. I got you on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta
Late Friday
collect all
night.
the evil
Late
artifacts.
Friday night. Yeah. You come in for the pub and that's on the telly. You know. Kind of
What kind of
does
a
the
pub
job.
did you go to where that's on the telly?
No, when you come home from the pub.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like usually it's sports.
No, there was that, or we had like you'd come home from the pub and what was on to watch would be a show called The Hitman and Her, which was essentially just people in a club. So you'd come home from a club and you'd put on the telly and there would be a show about people in a club, like just filming them dancing and interviewing them every now and then. It was about that's TV in the 80s.
Such exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just not bad. I don't think I'm going to have to do too much.
Very nice.
Fixing of this. I think it's all right. I should probably have worked out this leg before I did that. It's got to be going this way, isn't it? It's got to be going like that.
So although it was against my better judgment, I did get the 30th anniversary absolute Batman killing joke.
Yep.
And I like that they used coarse uncoated paper quality for the original one with the 80s coloring, and then they got the thin glossy stuff for the newer. Nice touch.
Nice. That's nice. That's good. That's going to be extra mile. I like the paper stock that DC used in a lot of their collections.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like their binding's always really tight and not the best.
Right.
But of the DC collections I've been getting, like over the last few months, I've been getting the John Byrne Man of Steel ones.
Yeah, I'm thinking about those.
Because it's one of my favourite runs on Superman. So
when they depowered him a little bit.
Yeah, but the binding's so tight on it, but it does. At least there's not much in the way of double page spreads back then,
I'll never forget Superman #2 when Lex figures out his identity and he gets all mad and it's like, he wouldn't just be a reporter, he'd be a what is it? He just can't even process it, so he dismisses it as too stupid.
Yeah, I like that as well, because that's kind of like you can imagine that in Silver Age and in Golden Age, and even in Bronze Age Superman, that would still be the kind of thing they would do. But John Byrne updates it really well, and it's totally believable because it's just the whole kind of like the ego of Lex Luthor at play in that one thing.
Yeah, he didn't really get a finite, like a solid rogues gallery until the cartoon, I don't think. That was one of his big problems. Of course, Green Arrow still doesn't really have a rogues gallery.
No. I guess he had them, but they were, with the exception of like one or two,
Yeah. They were Justice League bad guys, yeah.
Yeah, the Parasite would turn up, you'd be like, yeah, okay, cool. Something like that. What's his name? Metallo.
Brainiac and Metallo.
And Brainiac. So he had a few, but they were more concepts than characters.
Yeah.
So.
But I like the versions they had for the anime, the Toyman, where you wear that like ventriloquist dummy mask and attack people with toys. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Versus being he's like a child killer in the books for a while. It was one of my favorite. Some child serial killer.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm up for doing this fit. Could do a Liefeld.
Yeah, man. Perfect. Oh, I like it.
Sorted. There you go.
No, you would have to put an obstruction there.
He
always did. Maybe some fog or a rock. Yeah, that's how you get it done. Yeah,
of course. There you go.
Boom.
Some blades of grass.
It kind of sucks that they're fighting inside, but
there you go. Yeah, but
it's a terrarium or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of works.
Oh, now you get it. Now you understand.
The man's a bloody genius. Oh, dear me. And anybody watching the stream who's back to campaign and likes Rob Liefeld, I like Rob Liefeld too. Please don't cancel back in the campaign.
Everyone's got an opinion.
I was I went in the chat on Lucifer's show the other night. I was talking to Hex Allen, and I pointed out that the Dark Knight, Frank Miller's The Dark Knight, is just like a inferior rip-off of American Flag by Howard Chaykin.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, I
like doing things like that. Sorry, what was that?
Frank Miller, I tried for the first time to watch The Spirit the other night. I haven't watched it.
Sober?
Yeah, sober.
That was your mistake.
Keep in mind, I like Will Eisner's Spirit, and I love Darwin Cook's Spirit. And if I wanted to watch Sin City, I'd have went ahead and watched Sin City because that's what he sounded like. This city is my mistress, gives me everything I need. That's not how Denny Colt talks.
No, it's one of the. Considering that Frank Miller was such a close friend to Will Eisner's as well, to make that movie, which is it gets nothing right. It takes real skill to make a movie based on a character and get nothing from the source material right.
Oh yeah,
you know
it needed to be a lot lighter than it was.
Oh yeah,
and it needed not to look like Sin City. Of course, I mean, I guess he just learned everything from Robert Rodriguez and reapplied that, I guess.
Yep. Have you ever seen the TV pilot?
No. I saw the pictures of it. They took it a little too literal with the bright blue suit.
Yeah, the bright blue suit. You're kind of like, no. Oh. As being someone that never really got to read the Darwin Cook stuff, getting to read that and then watching that, I think I made it 16 minutes in, and I just told my wife, like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. This is terrible. It's really hard going. So it is.
I thought maybe, hey, it's one of those ones that aged okay. Like it really hasn't. It feels like 2008.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I don't know. It's hard to explain what the movie is. I tried to explain it to somebody, and I couldn't really explain it to them.
Oh, I think they got it wrong. I don't feel like Denny's a zombie. You know what I mean? Like, he's a dude that maybe he died for a minute, but he came back and everyone's, he's dead. So he's like, oh, great, I can operate outside the law.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. He comes back from the dead, but in the same way as somebody like,
dies for 3 seconds,
resuscitated, and when they say, hey, you were technically you were dead,
he can still get killed.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he gets beaten up every episode. That's his thing. He's like, he is. I feel like he's like John McClane with a mask.
Yep.
He just comes in, he gets punched in the face, he gets thrown down the stairs, and he wins the fight.
But he's always a complete mess.
Oh yeah.
He's rougher up to begin with, and he's a complete mess by the end, because you can see that as the spirit develops and goes on. It's just like it becomes messier as the strips go on, and
he's got no problem getting beaten up by 2 dudes in an alley, then just walks right back into the door and says, "Let's go again."
It's a strange one that they would make the movie they made. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it really felt like Sin City. Those 2 movies that I don't know. Did Robert Rodriguez make the second one? He made the first one.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. The Damned to Kill For. I didn't even see that one. No,
I'm still not. I've got it because it's in 3D. So I will watch it.
Yeah. I think it works good in print, how he sets up those panels. I'm not 100% sold on it on a visual, like, screen kind of thing.
Yeah,
similar to 300.
I think Sin City worked. because it had that.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah, it had the energy that Rodriguez brings to his best work.
It was a love letter, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes the dialogue, I don't know about that for me. It's trying too dang hard to be that 40s film noir kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think if you look at the dialogue as being more Mickey Spillane,
yeah,
then it's easier
maybe a
to
radio
kinda,
show.
Yeah, it's easier to get into. I think it's more that kind of really kind of rough detective fiction. You know,
Sure.
it's not Ben and Chandler, it's not Dashiell Hammett, it's Mickey Spillane.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd just go listen to a radio show if that were the case. I like what was it? Philip Marlowe. I used to listen to that one.
I've not listened to the radio show of that. Where's that?
It's because I'm old. What?
Is that available in the old YouTubes?
I think you're going to be able to find it on archive.org.
Right, okay, cool.
It used to be on this thing. I found it on this site called Botar, but I think they got taken down because I want to say they had a bunch of shadow stuff up, like the shadow. It was like a donated kind of thing, but the shadow still has a copyright on it. And I want to say they had a bunch of those radio shows up, but they didn't take them down. But they had all kinds of great stuff. They had Six Shooter. They had the NBC Radio Theater, Lux Radio Theater. They had Burns and Allen. They had Abbott and Costello. They had a ton of different like westerns and old detectives. They had some heroes like the Whistler and the Whisperer, and there was so much. But I think you can find a lot of that on archive.org, but it's not quite as organized.
Right. Okay. I shall give it a look.
I
like the idea. Raymond Chandler stuff. I quite like the idea of listening to that on the radio.
Oh, it's great to draw to because you don't really have to, you don't have to see anything. You can just listen and they describe everything. Sometimes you get sucked in. You just kind of stop and listen.
So I was going to stop there. I think I've done enough for the night, but I just realised I didn't finish the hand, so I'm going to finish the hand, and then we'll call it a night, guys.
Yeah, we got Philip Marlowe. Yep, we got the Whistler. We got Gunsmoke. We got Dragnet. We got X-1. Ooh, some sci-fi.
X-1.
Yep. We got the Six Shooter with Jimmy Stewart. We got Inner Sanctum. That's good. That's great stuff. Dimension X, The Lone Ranger. Black Museum, Box 13. Our Mrs. Brooks, The Falcon, The Adventures of the Falcon. Philo Vance. There's a lot here in archive. The Orson Welles radio show, the RKO radio show. Frontier Gentleman.
Frontier Gentleman.
The Westerns. Secrets of Scotland Yard. Adventures of Frank Race. Suspense. Bold Venture with Bogey. Ozzie and Harriet. Dark Fantasy. Mercury Theater. Orson Welles famously did that War of the Worlds. There's tons and tons. Abbott and Costello's here. Sealed Book. That's some good stuff. I think Lights Out's on here. Lights Out's one of my favorite horror. It's Cloak and Dagger. That's spy stuff. Martin and Lewis. Oh, yeah. Tarzan. Single episodes.
I'll dive in there. Get something
my
from I'm just doing my work.
Yeah. This is good stuff to listen to. I do it every once in a while. Or sometimes it's nice just to like turn it on and shut the lights out. Like just darkness and just listen to it.
I just fall asleep.
Well, and might make for, and then somebody screams. But let's see if we got any Lights Out, because I love that show. Murder at Midnight. Ooh, yeah, we got some Lights Out.
Nice.
There's some good stuff in here. Oh boy. Not a ton of Lights Out. A little bit. Well, I guess there's a few. There's no dedicated collection of it, though. It's just kind of scattered all over the place. That kind of sucks, but Some great stuff.
You just dive in.
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm done. I'm done for the night. It's now.
Very
It's,
nice.
it's 1:45.
Quarter to 2.
1:45. Yeah. Sorry. We'll get
That's
a
very
copyright
nice.
strike if I start singing because it'll be uncanny. It'll be as if Sinatra's in the room.
No difference.
No. So yeah, that's me. I'm quite happy with this. It's good. I'm getting back in stride again, and it's coming together. And I did funky stuff down here, which anatomically means nothing, but I quite like it. So I'm maybe going to bring it through.
That's smart. Sure.
Yeah, kind of some kind of weird kind of thing going on there because there's stuff I want to do with this character in the next couple of pages. Yeah, that I could help with. It's the old Indiana Jones approach. Make it up as you go along.
Oh yeah.
Got the script done, but as far as the drawing goes, it's what's the fun if it's all kind of fully prescribed. You got to make some of the stuff up as you go along.
Oh sure.
I had a thought as well. I should have gone full screen with this, and then I could still do it. I can crop it. I could edit this down to like a wee kind of like 5-minute video.
Oh yeah.
Speed it all up, get it up on the site. Guys, it's all about getting stuff up on the site. That's what it's all about on YouTube. Right. So, Stato, thanks for joining me.
Of course.
And keep me going here. Pete Adams, you're still with us, guys. Thanks. Anybody else who's still with us, thanks for hanging around. This is the first proper draw stream. I'm going to do these quite a wee bit, I think. Do some draw streams, get some stuff going. The next Team Dark is going to be, I'll say Team Dark, it says Team Dark, but you know what I mean? The next Team Dark normal one with Lucifer joining me, where we get really dark, is going to be the New York Ripper. Coming soon to a grindhouse near you. But when are we back on? We're back on
next the 8th.
Yeah, not this Thursday. This Thursday is the premiere of the Dario Argento Tenebrae. 24 minutes of my incredible editing, and then it's the week after we're back and we're doing the cursed, the sequel to the Cursed Earth, the day the Lord died.
Yep.
So see you guys in the chat for that. But awesome. Yeah, might actually hurry up the morning crack. Cheers, mate. Yeah, exactly. Get an early night or an early morning. Right, guys, thanks very much. It's always a pleasure having you guys in the chat. We need to do something there. If you want to join us, we'll have a wee show every now and then. You can join us on here. We need to try and work that out if any of you guys want to do that in the future. That'd be fun. The only problem with that is there'll be nobody in the chat.
Yeah, I'll jump into the chat and start harassing you.
Tell you what, we jump into the chat. Adams and Pete on here. Okay, that's us sorted. Right, guys, good night.
Good night, everybody.
Exactly. Stay safe. Stay well.